Hello everyone and welcome to Midlands 103's NexGen College and Career Expo. I'm going to welcome on our third speaker of today, Antonia Kelly, who's lecturer in Applied Social Studies from Carlow College. So can we welcome her up onto the stage, give her a big clap? Antonia, how are you?
I'm good, how are you today?
Good. So Antonia, can we get into it straight away? What is social care for people who don't know?
Okay, so social care is a relationship-based approach to working with people that are vulnerable in society. Those people, they can be group work or it can be with individuals. It's a professional practice, so it's just become regulated by Carlow.
And how does that differ then from social work for people who wouldn't?
Okay, so there's a lot of confusion between social care work and social work, so it's a really good question. Social work is more about you're working with case management. So it's where I suppose the difference would be that social care is more about the relationship-based approach to the working with people.
Right.
You're working in their lived, kind of where they're living. It's about building relationships of trust with them. With social work, it's more about creating, like the paperwork part of it, creating the plans that social care workers will be implementing.
Okay, so there is a difference there for people who don't.
There's similarities, but there's a lot of differences as well.
And although there's similarities, what sort of different career aspects can people go into when doing a course in either social care or social work?
Okay, so I suppose my profession is social care. I'm a social care worker.
Yes.
So based on my own experience and what we'll be teaching in Carlow College, the different modules, some students, they've ended up working in youth and community, family support. My own background is in disability, so I've worked in residential care, respite care, day services. I found myself working in National Learning Network as well. I see a few familiar faces here today. There's so many areas. That's one of the best things about social care work is that it's so varied. When I talk like youth justice, that would be another area. I would have done a placement in the Guard Youth Diversion Programme.
Right.
So I know there's a question coming up about placements as well.
Of course there is.
So happy to answer that as well. There's just so many areas. Some students have gone on to do social work. Found lately that some of the careers that were specifically for social workers, social care workers are now being invited to apply for the different jobs. So, so
there's so many different options. And then you brought it up now, this placement. So how does that work? Because I know that's obviously going to be a big part of it for students. And I suppose it is that social aspect of it as well, actually getting out there, doing the placement, getting the experience. So can you talk us through a bit of that?
So it's a really good opportunity to explore. I'll start off with that. I mentioned my own experience, Guard Youth Diversion Programme. I always thought I wanted to work with youths. And after that experience, I realised it wasn't for me, so that I thought that was really important. And then I found myself doing a placement in disability, and I ended up, that's my passion now. So everything's about disability. I teach a module and doing a bit of work with people with disabilities even outside of education. The placement is, what we offer, it's 800 hours, and again, it's Carlow regulated now, so there's an expectation around those 800 hours, and they tie in with their standards of proficiency. So similar to other professions, again, social care work has now been regulated by Carlow, similar to the likes of opticians, social workers. So Carolw College was one of the first colleges in Ireland, if not the first, to be registered with Carlow. So it's really good, and we're doing our revalidation at the moment as well, so very stressful. So going back to placements, also what's unique about Carlow College is that we're quite flexible, so we've supported young people and mothers to be on placement where they to get their hours done. So at the moment we have a student out and she's trying to complete her hours, so that's quite unique to Carlow College as far as I know. And we also offer student placements on during the summer, so some colleges don't do that, so it's really good.
That's brilliant. So there's so many options and there's so many different like, I find that so interesting what you said about doing your placement, and that's how you found out what was the right route for you to go down. I think that's like the key factor of doing placement and getting that experience.
Definitely.
You realise if it's not right for you or if it is right for you. So that's fantastic that you were able to share that. Can I ask you as well then, Antonia, what kind of programmes are offered in social care by Carlow College?
So so I suppose modules more, the programme would be the social care programme. So the modules that we'd offer, what I like to think is that students have a toolbox by the time they leave college. So that toolbox has the likes of psychology, social policy, it has the likes of politics, professional practice, disability modules. There's actually so many. I'm going to look at my list here. There's legal studies and ethics, and creative studies. And our lecturers, they all come from a social care background. So it's really good when you're able to give examples. It's an applied course. So lecturers have the experience to tie the theory to the practice and vice versa.
That's fantastic. So you're learning from people who have that first-hand experience to pass on to students.
So important.
Very important. And I think that's great as well from a student's perspective, that they feel free to ask you any questions and stuff like that, because it means that they're getting it from someone who really knows and has been through it.
Exactly.
And Antonia, further study opportunities then in social care, what's available out there for that?
Okay, so further studies, the likes of youth and community. The likes addiction studies is an area that's, I suppose there's contemporary areas of social care now, changes. So addiction studies, one of our students, our past students, is actually working now in an addiction service, so which is quite new, because it would have been more medical, nurse backgrounds, and the likes of psychologists, counsellors. So it's really good. Child protection. A lot of students have gone on to do social work, as you mentioned earlier. Counselling, art therapy as well. So they're just some of the areas. But it's so varied and so vast. I'd be here all day.
That's brilliant though, and it's great to hear it from yourself, who is there, been through it, have the experience. I'd actually like to open this up to the floor, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Is there anyone here who'd like to ask Antonia a question about social care or social work at the minute? And Antonia, if anyone later on wants to come and ask you questions, is that up for...
Absolutely. I'll be down the Carlow College stall, so definitely very open to that.
And we'll be able to find you on the website and social media and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, we have our website.
Fantastic.
So just Google it, or carlowcollege.ie. So,
brilliant. So don't be afraid, guys, to ask any questions throughout the day. It's a great opportunity to do so. Antonia, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks a million for having me.
Not at all. It's brilliant. Thank you.